It's all you. I'll mute everybody for you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show call. So today we're going to focus the next 25 minutes because we're going to keep everybody on time. And sorry, I just got home at Sweat Gym, right? So today we're going to focus on goal setting, and we're going to practice our 30-second story. So I personally 30 story actually make it more of like an elevator pitch, because sometimes you only have like less than 5 seconds to say hi and bye to somebody you want to. So I'm gonna push off to say my 30-second story in like less than 30 seconds, which means I might talk fast, or I might cut down that maybe relevant person with. Has everybody looked into the Global Exec Team page pre-homework assignments? Yes, I see a lot of people nodding their heads. Awesome. I have to share the screen because Melissa did a beautiful job showing us where the tabs are, where things are going. But I wanted to actually just talk about setting. We're going to talk that quickly. If you guys can see the template, if you want to pull it up, I'd rather see you guys' beautiful faces versus looking at the screen. We'll do that independent, correct? So the reason we have goal setting, because it's so important. I've been in Isagenix for almost like 4.5 years. I go constantly change, whether it's goal or social or both. And this is something that really we need to keep going and doing it, so you don't just goals and you forget it. Really have to be like on top of this shit. Sorry, because otherwise you're not gonna accomplish your goals, right? And the reason I have the bit up here, it will touch both health goals and financial goals. So I was actually just, as I was driving, and I'm kind of rethinking like, okay, what's the next step? I like to reset my goals after our big events. Usually in January, I will set my own goals, and then after celebration, I'll set my next goal for the rest of the year. Because again, during the event, I get inspired. This is when I'm all fired up, and this is when I set goals. So like back to what shooting for example, in January, you know, when we talked about, you know, financial goals, I was like, maybe financial when that challenge came up, I was like, I'm all in. That was my goal, and I was laser focused for the next 6 months to hit that goal. Goal that I'm in that was to kind of get back on track with health and fitness. You know, being nice about it, you know, last year, like I great, you know, and the minute I like was on stage, got off, and I was like, I need a break. So I'll be honest, September till September, I was great. I had business, I was enjoying life. We went on the Isabati trip in like September. It was all inclusive, like resort in Costa Rica. So was working out, and I was not true to my health and fitness goals. So in January, I said, I need to get back on track. and really myself, I kind of stood, you know, true to my goals. And you just kind of have to be realistic as well, because sometimes we set our goals so high, they're not stick, and then you get discouraged and you stop and you don't even accomplish half of the stuff that you wanted to do. So I'm more of like, set your goals like if you get 100%, you're like freaking Wonder Woman, okay? So I wanted to have you guys what is your financial goal, my dear? I'm gonna pick on you guys. Sorry, I'm not gonna be talking.
About 1 star will retire me. That's simple as 1 star. And I think it's and I thought do it in 1 year, but doesn't matter. I will pick up again and for it.
I'm gonna challenge you, not just say 1 star, but paid as 1 star. Personally, I've been 1 star the first. Guys, I'm not, and I'll be completely honest with you. So rephrase that and say paid as. Okay. So we're gonna miss you at celebration, but is this at NYKO? You're gonna walk in those doors and you're gonna be paid as 1 star?
I don't know if
there's no stop. You gotta have a goal. You gotta have a date.
Okay, I will do my best effort to. Okay.
Need a date. Not if I want to do my
When it's
best, you
gonna be-
guys.
When
It's
it's
all
gonna be
about
in
dates.
YKO in next year?
Okay. Are you for dates? Are you shooting for what date? Pick a date. Whatever it
I wanna be
means.
for next celebration.
Okay. Look at Melissa. She's like, no, that's like you're too lenient.
If
So,
I can come sooner than that, I will. You know. Oh, worries.
all right. So you guys, this is what I'm like. I like to dig my own head too. I claim my goals. Okay? I've been saying I'm defined for the past 4 years. I have said I am, retired at 40, and I'm gonna turn 40. I'm nowhere close to it. I am so powerful. So when you're setting your goals, whether it's your financial or physical, just own it and just say I am. There's a huge mental shift because all the little things, but there was like I hope, I wish, maybe. Get those out of your vocabulary. There's none of that. If my life that, I will not be close to, you know what I mean? So write it out. You gotta have a date. If you don't have a date, it's not gonna happen. It might be 3 years of celebration. Okay, yourself to that financial goal in writing with a date attached to it, because you're gonna be putting yourself accountable for that. Okay. Okay. My challenge you to share with us about your health goals, because you're new to your journey. You're doing amazing, and I'm gonna challenge you to share with us is your health goal. Why? We can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself?
Who did you call on?
Hey. There you are. Now you're smiling. I know you heard you. Girl, we heard you, but we can't hear you. You're mute. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Terry. There you go.
Okay,
Now
I'm
she's
sorry.
unmuted.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were calling on me. Okay.
That's okay. We're not paying attention. It's okay. Don't mute yourself.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. You're still muted. I think I accidentally muted you. Okay, Terry, start over.
Okay. Nobody get any button. That's it.
Everyone
go.
can hear?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So my health goals, I'm already down almost 30 pounds, and I have to lose another 40 by the end of December. I don't think that is enough to get me to win the body challenge, but I would like to continue with that and try to win it next year. I think I initially wanted to win it this year, try to or something. Realistically, it's going to take me longer, and I'm okay with that. But it is something that I'm going to do, something that I'm very on. So as part of my life goals.
And why do you want that title?
I like when, and you're 6'2", Christine, and I want to be in that book. I want to have my spread. I like fame. I do like fame, and yes. And I'm in my 50s now, and I just want to have a rockin' bod in my 50s, and there are people that look amazing at any age, and I feel like I can do anything on this nutrition. And when I watch you now, I'm looking at Karen videos, she looks incredible, and it's just so inspiring, and I know I can do it too, and I'm gonna.
Yes, you can. Well, it took 11 challenge, but okay. 3 years ago, during our leadership training at Celebration, Eric Worre, he's like amazing at working was training for us. So for 2 hours, we're in the room, and at the end, he said, write down a goal that you want to be like accomplishing. 2 things I wrote down. At that point, I didn't care about the titles as far as like, stars and all that stuff. My heart was, and down my finalist, and I wrote down I am Team Isagenix. I didn't hit that goal the following year. It took me more years to hit goal. They actually on social media as well. I'm really good at that. I don't care. I'll share my goals, you know.
And then
But
you
yeah, write
crushed
it down. Yeah.
Look what you, I'm sorry to
And you
interrupt,
to
but look what
like,
you did. Look what you did with Leader in Action too, Christine. Sorry. I just realized that Kristen and Marcy and where was the other person? There was somebody else on here that may not even know who you are. You're like probably Christy. Really quickly, I'm sorry to interject, but this is actually very relevant. Christine, who's leading the call today, she won a huge competition. It's taking her to Grand Cayman in a couple of weeks. She is a complete badass, and she's a PharmD out of LA. She's on a completely different time zone than us, but she's on the calls every morning at 5 a.m. She's focused on retiring by 40. And as she's saying, she set her goals and intention a couple of years ago to get on stage and become an IsaBody finalist. There are like thousands of people who compete. This girl made up her mind. She set her goals and she crushed them, which is why she's leading this call today. And I'm sorry that I didn't give you, like, edify you before you jumped on. I just assumed, oh, everybody knows Christine. And then I'm looking at the roster and I'm like, I don't know that Kristen, Christy, and Marcy know who you are. So there you go. This is Christine Manukin. Go ahead, Christine. Sorry.
I love it. I love faces. This is the reason I'm not sharing my screen, because like I said, we can always read that, right? So I really see all of you guys, but thanks, Melissa, for that. Okay, so minutes, I really want to spend the next part of the goal setting, you know, so you guys see where I'm going with this. I want you to, there's like words, get out of your vocabulary, just own it. Whether you fail or not, it doesn't matter, just own it. Like a simple things like today I tried myself like a new workout, and if you guys go watch my Insta stories, like you will see like I was falling. Like that's okay, but I learned to get stronger. Like I didn't fall or anything, like be scared or anything. But again, like you have to keep going, and you have to know your weaknesses. If you don't know your weaknesses, you're not gonna be better at it. You're not be better at whatever you do, but you have to really accomplish and be vulnerable with yourself. So if I know, like I am, for example, financial, I want to retire next PharmD, I did very well. You know, it's a very huge goal to match, but it can happen. Hello, look at Melissa, right? So it's knowing priorities, kind of going for it. And I want to tell everybody too, it's good to have goals, you know, financial and health, family, personal, but really, if you want to be successful, you have to pick one goal. You have to pick one goal. There's no priorities, and everything else is important. There's over one priority. So, you know, like I just shared, like after NYK, I said, I'm going to win Grand Cayman, and I really want to get back at the gym. So back to the, like twice a week was satisfying for me, but my main goal was to build my business, and I did that. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, I set number one goal, and I kept that as my number one priority. Everything else was happening. I was still enrolling. I was still take advantage doing all this stuff, but now my main IsaBody. So that extra 30 minutes that I had to, let's say, prospecting, I would be at the gym because that was my goal. So I hope you guys review your goal, and just you have to have a date. Otherwise, it's not possible. And another thing that I actually shared with, you know, before in my social media private pages, my goals are my passwords. I typed, I am IsaBody finalist first. And at some point I said, I gotta have a date. So I changed my password and I said IsaBody 2018, and that happened. So, you know, we talk about goals. My name for IsaLife app or Isa back office is I retired at 40, and I've shared that with everybody. I type that every day. I retired at 40, and I led like 4.5 years ago. I actually won my first trip that I you know, won with the corporate, and you know, Janet, he's one of the badass millionaires in our company. He shared on stage that his earners as well, he shared on stage during our small private gathering that he's been typing, I am 18 star platinum, and for like 4 years. And actually that weekend while we were in grand opening for our company, for I think corporate, he hit that. Okay, which is like crazy because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do that. So incorporate goals into your life, whether it's password at work or your phone, it doesn't matter, like I set goals and I type it, because the more you say it, the more you do it, you're gonna make it deal. And you have to make your goals. The why is so important as well. I asked both of you girls like why you want to accomplish that, because if it's not important, why, it's not gonna matter. You're gonna stop and you're gonna like go back to, you're like, oh, maybe I don't want to be a 1-star, or maybe I want to be final because I chose past 4 years. Okay, so make that why so strong, and you have to actually feel yourself winning that. You have to feel yourself winning that. You have to imagine yourself walking on stage doing that. So feel it, touch it, smell it, know what you're wearing. I knew what I was gonna wear on stage. So crazy. You have to have that, like it's already happened and it will happen. So anyways, I hope this kind of gives you guys a little bit of goal setting. The next goal set, consultant, manager, director, executive. Again, talk about dates. It's very, very, very important. And it's okay to cross date and write it again. You have dates, okay? Any questions, anything you guys want me to kind of like go over it again, or anything about goal setting? I hope it inspires you guys to like be more like, I don't know, I like to use badass. I don't care, like just challenge yourself, nobody's judging you. This is a family. I mean, I live on with me page yesterday saying like, I'm going to hit 2-star. It didn't happen. Guess what? I became very uncomfortable going live, thanks to Melissa to challenge me to live. I had a strat, I had a plan. I knew what I was going to do. At the end of the day, totally random, I actually ended up enrolling somebody on a 30-day pack because that's what fit their budget. I had absolutely, am I sad or crying I didn't hit 2-star? Hell no, it's going to happen. But it's not the right time maybe in my business. And I was really rushed, and things don't very well when you're rushing. So have a plan and make that more realistic, and you'll definitely touch your goals. So,
Hey, Christy,
said,
really quick, I am loving this conversation, like loving it. I mean, those of you who've been around since probably a year before I retired, you watched me put it all on Global Exec. I calculated exactly how many cycles I needed to match my corporate income and peace out. And I calculated it and I strategized and I mapped it out month after month after month. And then I posted it on Global Exec. And I even wrote the date that the baby will be born and when I would retire. Some of you are around to remember that, right? And every couple of months when I hit 3-star, a month before I needed to, I blasted that baby on Get. And then I hit 4-star, I blasted that on Get. Then the baby was born, and then I fired my boss and retired. And it was like it all manifested because I owned it and I went public with it. And it creates a lot of pressure on you when you go public. Now, I'm not saying that you need to take your goals and share them all with the Global Exec team today if you're not Christine Minukin and you don't want to just throw it out there, right? You're crushing Greg Cayman. But what I do want to suggest that you do, because some of you guys are brand spanking new, and even those of you who have been around a while, you may still not know how to do this. And I think it's really important that you know how to do this. And Mayeva, I'm happy to help you with this if there's not someone in your upline to coach you on this. And that is, you need to be able to calculate back exactly what those cycles mean. So let's say you're saying, and this is for a whole nother call, right? But let's say you want to make 6 figures with Isagenix. Well, then you need to be 4-star, right? What does 4-star mean? And how many cycles is that? And how much volume does that look like in my back office? So many people just throw a goal in the air and they have no idea how much work, how many leaders, how many product users that they're going to need in their organization to actually create a business like that. And so I or anyone in your upline are happy to work with you on that. If you can come to us with an exact value, a number, and it doesn't have to be to retire. Maybe you love your job, but you want to make X amount of money additionally as a second stream of income. Come to us so we can help you work backwards, because it's really important that you're able to temperature check, and we can give you ideas of like what milestones you need month after month in cycle growth to get you to that number that you want to be at a year from now. Okay. All right. I'll shut up. Go ahead, Christine.
Oh, totally honest, exactly what I did with the Leaders in Action formula. You know, I knew my rank where I was, and I know what I need approximately to win that, to top 125 in the company. And I have no idea how everybody else is working, you guys. That's like even scarier, because it's not just your own efforts, because there might be other people who are like after me, but they freaking crush it and they're like on the top. So you got to know your numbers. And this is something that, you know, we hear over and over and over again. Know your number.
Like
and yes, we definitely need a call on this.
It's like this week, I'm like blown away. You know, you guys will learn, you can look at your auto ships for the week coming, and you know exactly where your cycles are going to be. And then all of a sudden, over the past couple of days, my cycles have just been taken off. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm looking in, and like Terry's putting in a ton of stuff. Blady's putting in orders. I mean, all these people are putting in you. That, to your point, Christine, is not even part of your formula for calculating your retirement date. You know, if you calculate just your effort, you're going to get to that number probably 3 times faster than you think that you will, because you're on a team that's getting you there with you. Okay. Sorry. I really am going to shut up. Go ahead.
No. I love this. And this is what we really want to, like, you know, really stress about, like, you know, not in the business by ourselves, you know, we're not, like, it's all about the team, you know. And this is something that it took me a long time really understand, actually saw happen. Okay. I'm somebody who ranked advanced to, like I said, for, you know, 1-star crystal executive in like 4.5, 5 months, but it was all on me, because I was a monster. I was enrolling, like, I think my first year I enrolled like close to like 80 or 90 people. Like it's crazy. But all the work was all on me, trying to pull those people, like babysit them, drag them. Like, it's exhausting. I have no team. And I had to like slap in the face, like, hello, you need to wake up. You're still probably enrolled like 100 people in like 4 years, and she's multimillionaire. Like, you need to stop and think of like your goals and what you're doing. And it makes sense. Math does not fail. You know, it's there. But yes, we'll definitely need to have a call on this one, because I'm retiring next year, girl. So let's talk about our 30-second story. You guys saw the post, and there's different versions of, you know, how to share your story. The way our global exec team, it's just a little bit different, but it's not dramatic. Like, I mean, it's not too different. So you can always have your own version of this as well. And going to several events to seeing other local leaders, how they do things, like, it's the same concept, okay? But you have to really kind of tweak it around, touch the points of the person you're speaking with, right? So for example, I'm speaking with Terry, and she wants to be an IsaBody finalist. I know she's like all into health and wellness. You would really think, like, at that point, I need to brag about that I made extra cash and, you know, I paid off my cell phone bill. It's not as relevant to her goals she's telling about. So if you're meeting somebody, that instant connection, you need to grab like 1 or 2 of their own pain points and tell your story, like saying, like, that's exactly how you used to feel. That's exactly, you know, it may not resonate with you, but you know somebody that went exactly through that. So your 30-second story times may be your own story. You might be sharing someone else's story. So for example, if I'm meeting somebody and I know this person is miserable at their job, they're a pharmacist and they're hustling and just want to make income, you know, my story changes. And I say, you know what, I've been successful in this company, but this is just the beginning. I'm doing my best to take footsteps. And I'm going to retire my job. Are you in? You know, something like that. And that's also about your posture as well. So knowing who you're speaking with, story can be like one way or the other. If you're new to this and you haven't had your financial success or your physical transformation success, that's okay. But you don't to say like, well, I'm not sure this is going to happen, may not work for you. No, this shit is going to work for you, and it's been working for me, my best friend. Okay? So it's all about the posture, how you guys talk to people, makes a huge, it's your conviction. People are going to join your company, not because of Isagenix, but they join you as a person. They're going to join your energy. They're going to join where you're going. Like, would I ever join somebody that this person may not be on next year? No. I want to join somebody that I know is going far and they're sticking around. They're going to be around here for like 10 years from now. Okay. So, just brief again, like with 30-second story, you have to talk about your life before Isagenix. Whether if your first day on the program, or how was your life yesterday? There's always 4 story, and then pick like 2 or 3 like pain points that are relevant for you. But you can have 10 pain points. You have to share all at once. You don't want to like verbally vomit on people too. You know what I mean? So pick 1 or 2 things that you think is relevant. You're speaking. And then you're going to talk about like how you were introduced to this company, because again, people are going to say like, well, can I buy this online? Is there a store I go to? Do you sell it in your own house? I have questions asked all the time, and then what this product have done for you, or this financial opportunity has done for you. Touch back to main points you're talking about. And also we want to close it up where you're heading. Again, talking about, I'm going to be around. I'm not like, hi, I'm here, up, back, up, I'm here again, peace out. You may not see me for like a year. Nobody wants to be part of that team, to show people and to like own it where you're going, because that's going to be really showing people your commitment level. Okay. So briefly, I'm going to share my story. And this is actually just literally printed it because I haven't verbalized this since last year when I shared this on stage. And they really wanted us to be brief. But I think this story, I don't think I'm actually ever going to change that, because I read it again for the first time since last year, August. And I'm like, this is still my story, you guys. And I just find it physical and what my passion and purpose is in life is. So are y'all ready? I'm going to try to do this fast, but too fast, okay? Because you don't want to be like a robot talking to. All right, I'm going to read it, but practice this.
Christine, before you get started, I think it's good that people get referenced. So before you start your 30-second story, I think it's important to let the group know, give them an idea of what the conversation looked like before you got started, because many times a 30-second story is going to be geared down one alley or the other. We don't have a whole lot of time to cover the entire gamut of what Isagenix has done from you, from your migraines to your sleep to your weight loss to the financial opportunity to helping your whole friends and family get healthy, right? So I think it's important maybe to let everybody know before you jump into your 30-second story what that conversation might have looked like that prompted you to then articulate your 30-second story. Was it a conversation with a disgruntled pharmacist who is struggling with the hours and the money that they're making? Or is it someone who's overweight? Or, so just give everybody a frame of reference, because your 30-second story is going to shift a little bit depending on your audience. It's not that you're telling lies. It's just that you want to spend more time in one area versus another that's going to resonate with whatever this prospect connected with you on. So sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. And that's what I was kind of like gearing towards too, and thank you for rephrasing it more beautifully. Your story is going to change depending on who you're speaking with. So most people get attracted to my story and follow me or whatever it is because of my weight loss journey, because my being a mom in healthcare, hustling, working full time, but still making time for myself, but still trying to reach health and wellness. And I also talk to people who are looking for additional income, people who are saying they can't afford X, Y, and Z because they have other bills and they cannot spend the money on themselves first. So, and a lot of my audience is healthcare professional, and a lot of the people, especially our age, they're overworked. they're mostly like mid-age, between like 30s and 45, 50s, I would say. And most of them have families already. So we're kind of like already burnt out. You know, we've been practicing for like 10, 15 years already. We kind of reached to that point of like, okay, what next? Am I going to be 65 years old still working because that's when I'm going to, you know, match my income to retire? You know what I mean? So that's what mostly my audience is. Mostly it's who are just trying to like, you know, feel good, you know, and lose weight and just have a better lifestyle. Because a lot of parents now too, you know, approach me, do you allow your kids to drink the shades? I'm like, yeah, don't you watch my stories? Like, yeah, my kids have been drinking the shades for like 4 years. So again, just kind of like to them directly. But yeah, majority of my people that I speak with that are females. I have a handful of males, but I have an amazing badass made brain, we all know. so yeah, like most of my people will be like females, healthcare professionals, moms, who are just trying to have financial freedom versus success, because a lot of them are already successful at their job, and a lot of them are just trying to have less stress and so clarity, because at our job, like, we have to be laser focused because a simple mistake can kill somebody. So so that's what I'm speaking to most of the time. Okay. So is it ready? Does it help a little bit more?
Yes.
All right. So looking back to my life before Isagenix, I was morbidly obese and I had no energy to be present around kids. As a doctor of pharmacy, I was embarrassed of my health and lack of self-love. After failing many diets, I finally found a lifestyle I can maintain. Fast forward, I'm healthy as I've ever been. I gained confidence to step on stage as a fitness competitor, and I even started running marathons. My passion and purpose in life is to help others to accomplish their goals without pharmaceuticals and experience financial freedom. I believe everyone deserves a second chance to rewrite their story and become best version of themselves. So, voila. And yeah, this talks about my passion and purpose and where I'm going, because again, my story is, you're a pharmacist and you're doing this herbal thing. Like, how does that, what's your belief in that? A lot of people are super skeptic in that. A lot of people don't think this is like JIT or this is healthy. It's so that's why I always tell people, like, I'm the healthiest I am. I'm helping people to get healthy without pharmaceuticals, which I have my own labs to show if anybody has any questions. If anybody needs a testimonials about their LDLs and HDLs and their triglycerides, you can holler at me. So those are things that I really want to tell people. So I hope this kind of gives you guys a little bit of an idea. I'm going to pick on somebody. You know, I was going to ask one of our leaders to share their stories, but I want to hear from Ginny. Are you ready to share your story?
Hang on one second, Christine. I wanted to say, because I love what you're saying about your labs and your story, right? So I think this is a great example. So we're kind of training you guys on a couple of different core concepts tonight, which might kind of blow your mind for the new people, but it'll take practice. But, you know, so Kristen, I'm thinking of Kristen. So she's pregnant, right? She doesn't have a weight loss story. She's having a wonderful, healthy pregnancy. But a lot of America is looking to lose weight, which is not why Kristen was on the products, right? But now, Kristen, you know Christine's story. So let's say that you run into someone who's just talking about being sluggish and needing to lose a couple pounds. Like, obviously, it wouldn't make sense for Kristen to say, gosh, before Isagenix, I was overweight, and then I used it, and now, you know, it wouldn't make sense, right? And this is where Christine is saying that's where you leverage someone else's 30-second story, not yours. So that's where Kristen would say, gosh, I've got this good friend. And you don't have to say good friend, because maybe you guys don't know each other all that well. You could say, you know, I've got this friend that's using the same nutrition as me.
That's not what you're talking
about. She will be your best friend soon, right? But I have this friend who's been using the products that I've been using, and she was in a similar scenario, you know, and after resorting to these products, blah, 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 blah. So you can see how you still have a 30-second story, but now it's not yours. Does that make sense? But it still needs to be short and succinct. Now, Maeva says she's ready to share. So let's hear it.
Let's go.
At my heaviest, I weighed 250 pounds. I'm sorry, let's start over again. At my heaviest, I weighed 230 pounds. I lost 50 pounds through diet and exercise, but I could not lose the last 17 pounds. My doctor introduced me to Isagenix, and I was able to lose the last 17 pounds. And I have maintained that weight loss for the past 10 years. And now I am on my way to financial freedom through the Isagenix opportunity.
Bam! I want to talk to
Bam.
you and your doctor.
26 seconds. You nailed it. You told your physical story and you gave an insight to the financial opportunity in less than 27 seconds. Nailed it. Love it.
I love how
You
you
didn't know I
said
was
your
timing
doctor
you.
introduced you to the program. Yeah.
I didn't hear
After
you.
you said that, it's like, I was like, whoa, I want to talk to your doctor. Like, how did they do that? Because again, that's so validating what you said. And you guys, the reason I hop on, the morning calls on our global exec calls every Tuesday specifically, because people are sharing their story. And like I said, I may not know so-and-so, but if I have somebody with diabetes or MS, or it doesn't matter, like you hear those stories and have all the words in my, so whoever I'm talking to, I'm like a chameleon. I like, my brain just flips like, oh, I know so-and-so. Oh, I know so-and-so. If I'm talking to an athlete, guess what? I'm about Jen's Hunt. Okay? Because, hello, like, if I have a teammate that's in freaking NFL, like, wouldn't I brag about this shit? I totally would, So you gotta know your teammates. We may not have seen each other or been friends. It doesn't matter. Kristen and I are best friends after this call. Like, hello. But you gotta know your teammates, and this is how you share each other's stories. So if I'm actually talking to Kristen right now, guess what? I'm not talking about myself and my weight loss journey. Honestly, that's the last thing that's gonna come out of my mouth. What's gonna come out of my mouth is gonna say, I watched my friend Melissa go through pregnancy, and she looks better now than she was before. Okay, I'm gonna share her story because I wasn't pregnant with Isagenix. I wish I was, but Melissa was. I watched her body shrink. I saw her working out 5 a.m. at OTF while pregnant. Thank you very much. Eating her little applesauce and fueling her body and bragging about that. I'm gonna talk about that, okay? So you change your story based on other people's stories, and this is what's gonna make you more valuable. People always ask me, like, how do you connect? You guys, like, I don't have a magic secret to connect with people. Like, my 30-second story may not even be 30 seconds. Sometimes might be 5 minutes if I have the time and luck. But sometimes it's very brief, but talking about the person I'm speaking with. And that's something you will learn. And the best way to do it is to strangers, because they don't know your story as much.
So
and
true.
let me tell you, so much more fun, so much more to talk to strangers, just like today, like I was walking out the gym and I heard 2 beautiful girls like changing it up and speaking French. And I was like, ooh, that's very cute. I was like, oh, nothing come with those girls. I've never seen them, but I just complimented them. I was like, you girls sound so pretty and so cute. Like, you might be like saying bad words, but I'll be like, oh, thank you. Like, all the compliment. And they're like, oh, you're so sweet. Oh my God. And I was like, have a great workout. I'm already done. I got to rush, go get my kids. But hopefully I see you guys again next time. So get their name. I didn't talk about anything, but I just made that connection. Now they remember me. If they see me at the gym, they're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing you. I remember talking to you. Make that connection with someone by complimenting first. And then, hey, if I have extra time to talk about them, like while I'm shaking my like post-workout and, saying this, I'm like, doesn't matter, you guys. Share your story, do what you have, and just get uncomfortable, So thank you so much for sharing your story. So do we have time for one more person to share their story?
Yeah, let's definitely do another one. 2 things. Number one, we'll stay on as long as people want to practice. I know that we said till 9 o'clock, so anyone who has to jump off, I'm not going to take it personally at all. But those of you who've brought your stories and you want to practice, stay on as long as you want, because that's what we're here for. But you can totally jump off whenever you want to and not be judged at all. But I wanted to, this is good conversation, so I want to keep it going. Christine, one of the reasons you're so successful is because of your confidence and you're fearless. And what I mean by fearless, Many of us, when we're new, we're afraid of the words that come out of our mouth, and we're concerned about what the people on the other end are going to think or how they're going to judge us. And actually, that lack of confidence and kind of stuttering and not making eye contact and kind of trying to get it out, you're going to stumble, and you're going to have to practice until you get confident and you get comfortable and it comes out of your mouth. And until you do, when people sense your lack of confidence, they're not going to be so sure about what you're talking about. They're not going to be that confident in what you're talking about. But you're only going to get to that confident, articulate, succinct person when you practice and you start by sounding horrible. And it goes back to the video that the live I did this past week, is that you guys can dial into these calls, you can dial into GAT, and you can take as many podcast webinars that you want. And you can know everything in the world, but if words aren't coming out of your mouth and you aren't practicing telling your story with other strangers and people, you're not going to be successful in this business. You can hide in studying the business, but if you're not practicing the words and stumbling and failing forward, you won't succeed. I'm sounding kind of like a hard ass, but it's true. I mean, you can hear the confidence in Christine's voice. She doesn't care. She's just going to tell her story. And the more confident and silly you are about it, the more people are excited and want to learn. And the more you stutter and don't make eye contact, the less people are going to believe in what you have to say. Okay. So yeah, who else wants to share their 30-second story? And Melva wants to speak. So yes, Melva, please speak. And anyone who has to jump off, please, I'm not judging. I know it's Thursday and people have to get to work, but for those of you that want to stay on and practice, go for it, Melva.
Hey everybody, sorry, I need a hat. What'd you say? I can hear you.
So the queen of Facebook Lives is in the house.
Oh my god, like I am totally
me to go live more often. I'm like, oh crap, and Melva's live
let
again.
me get like this. I don't even know if I'm full dress right now. I'm sorry, I put on the camera just to jump in. So I just want to share, so I guess quickly, like the second story I did just now, so like my 30-second story is, hey, I'm Dr. Melva, board certified radiation oncologist, but what you don't see is where I was 4 years ago after I'd had my third child. They're now 10, 8, and 5. I was exhausted. I need to lose some weight. I saw my friend Sadie, who's a pharmacist, show this awesome weight loss. And I was like, I got to get that. And then I pretty much stalked her and found out about the financial thing. So anything that's money and that can grow and help other people, I jumped into that. And now my husband is joining me, and we're interested in helping other people to make an impact with their finances, because what we found is that people were stuck in where they were and they needed the support. So we're on the #1 income earning team. Do you want to know more? Okay, so like that's one of my 30-second stories, right? It's not perfect. I don't know how long that took me, but I want to show I want to show this to you guys, because this is like, I look crazy because I've been working today. So I started at 6 o'clock with my first call. I shared the little thing, and everybody doesn't have to do this, but I needed to, like Melissa said, get uncomfortable again, because I went back through my phone and I saw when I first started 4 years ago, all the videos I made. So I have like videos of Tammy and I and Marianne, anybody that knows that, like Melissa and Sadie and Christine. And we were like doing lives when we first started, and that excitement. And I was like, how do I get that back? Not that I lost it all, but I just reminded it. So these are my notes from all the conversations I've had. I had 6 15 to 20 minute conversations today. And every time it was somebody I did not know, completely cold. I did an ad, and it was this crazy video, and I'll share it with anybody that wants to do it. But it was people I wanted to talk to, but I couldn't relate to all of them. What did I do? Exactly what Christine said. I pulled a story out. So I had one lady, she was completely like, hold on, let me find this lady. I think she's joining me tomorrow. She was in tears when we finished. And I was like, yes, your why makes you cry, right? And so she's going tomorrow to start slow on the product, but she basically was like, where's her thing? She didn't want to talk to people because she does it all the time. And she was tired because she worked for FedEx, and she said she was too old to be doing that, but she needed the money. And we got into what it was, and she was like, she's a loner and her son is a loner. As you can tell, I'm not an introvert, but I pulled in someone's story. So I talked about Katie, an introvert. And it's like being on these calls, like what Margie said and what they're saying. I'm sorry. I'm so pumped up. Can you guys even understand me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been going from like call to call to call to call. So anyway, this energy, and I asked everybody, like, why did you even go? Because I didn't even mention the product. I had on the phone with me that I didn't even know. These are corporate professional women because of my energy, because of my excitement. And they're like, whatever it is you're doing, we want to do. So I pretty much went from connecting with a 47 who was miserable, hated her day job, who was a loner that I couldn't relate to a Hispanic lady who got divorced in Vegas and was ready to spend time with her. And she'd already done like Prime America Herbalife, but she said it sounded like if she had the support and the training, she would want to do it. I connected with her in the Vegas. I talked to a 26-year-old. This is one of the first time in 4 years that I talked to someone I never met. I used Jennifer's, this is the team training. I'm sorry if I'm going way off, but I used Jennifer's notes on that thing you said, save in your phone. And when we got off the phone, a 15-minute conversation, I texted to her and she texted me back all the information and she wants the card run tomorrow. I've never done this 4 years. And I'm telling you, it's because when I got on the phone, my 30-second story changed to meet hers, right? So like work on your 30-second story, but work on understanding and listening to other people. So you just have it, like Christine said, and just comes off very naturally. Like, I can't tell you guys how hard that was. Like, I should have had all of you on the phone for 3-way, but I was like, let me get out and see what happens. So I still have bookings for the rest of this weekend. Some people have done follow-ups, but this is what I just wanted to share. So I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry, Lacey.
No, this was amazing. And I know when I saw your 15, I was like, I was actually going to message you. I was like, what are you talking? Like, what is that? And I was actually going to like message and say like, because that just like literally inspired me to do that too with my own calendar too, because most people don't have time, okay?
Yeah.
I don't have time to wait on people. And obviously the other person there's somebody. So, and that just shows you how much you can do. And you guys, the fortune's in the follow-up for sure. We hear this over and over and over again. And I'm glad, like Melva mentioned that too, so there's some follow-ups too, because don't forget about those people, And I mean, come on, Miller shared with us today, like, I think she shares like every single call, like how she said no twice. So like, who says no to Kathy Cooper or like Patty Cepeda? Hello. And 10 years, that's just yes. So you never know who is going to come to your life, and you never know who you spoke with like a year ago. Now their life has changed. So just keep saying it and saying it and saying it. And one thing that I learned, that I talk with my hands a lot. So I practice my second story, looking myself in the mirror, because again, posture and your body language will say more, because sometimes people will not hear what you're saying, but how you say it, it's so much valuable. Like I may say my 30-second story and give a big hug and like walk out, be like, peace out, okay, I gotta go. But it doesn't matter. People gonna remember like, oh, she's very approachable. She gave me a hug. Like, so those are little things that people will remember about you. It's not like what we say, it's how we say it. So I hope everybody like uncomfortable, like get in the, in front of the mirror and just do that. And I learned doing this last year because I was like, I gotta share this story on the 15,000 people, big ass stage, and wearing like a, like half naked, you know what I mean? Like workout clothes, like camera, an extra pound, like I had to mentally prepare myself doing that because the emotions get in the way. You start stumbling and you can't do that. So practice in front of the mirror. Practice while you're driving too, because again, your main focus is driving, hopefully, but then you're actually saying it. So trying to see how fast it will come out of your mouth without even thinking about it. Does that make sense? I was practicing my 30-second story on my way to work every single morning, like just a couple of times. And it kind of really got me to like be more like fluent in it. So anyways, somebody wanted to share their story. Did we lose her? Who was it? Anyways.
While you're searching, Christy, one other thing I just wanted to, a lot of new people are probably wondering, after you share your story, right? Like what happens in that conversation. And I just want to underscore that the key to a 30-second story is that you peak and create interest and then shut up. And the reason is why it's succinct and we create interest is so that then your prospect can ask you questions. See, we all love Isagenix for a million reasons, right? You think about Melva just going 90 miles an hour, like that's our enthusiasm. We all feel that energy, right? Now, when we're in front of a prospect, we don't want to throw up on them and speak for 20 minutes because people want to hear themselves. They don't want to hear you, but they're interested, right? So when you share a quick, succinct story, it should pique interest so that they ask you a question. So for instance, when I was in the pool and this mom says, oh, you guys recently moved to Davidson, you know, what do you do? Or we get into a quick conversation and I just, you know, very matter-of-factly say, gosh, you know, I used to be in your shoes, because she's working like crazy hours as a corporate mom. I used to be in your shoes. I used to work crazy hours, travel all the time. You know, this past year, I actually was able to fire my boss and walk away from corporate America. And now I work part-time as an entrepreneur out of my office at home, and I get to spend a lot more time with my kids. Zip. Like, zip. And of course, when you finish saying something like that, and you just awkwardly pause, people are going to say, what is it you do? Right? Or you can just continue to talk about yourself to the point that people are like, okay, enough, you're cool, what you do is cool, you know, like, get me away from this psycho, right? So sorry, Chris, I did want to reiterate that the whole reason we want that succinct story is to pique interest so that people ask us questions back. Okay. So.
Nice.
Yeah, so in one of the trainings, sorry. You want to mute Terry?
Dad, I'm done.
Here, I'm going to mute her. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So at one of the trainings at the University in Action, David Woods, and he's just amazing. You guys have never been to Isagenix event, University in Action, you're totally missing out. So he talked about the 30-second story, and he said, think of like, this is a movie, and you are not the hero. The person in front of you is the hero. So like Melissa's saying, like, shut your mouth, give them just a little bit enough to like pique their interest, to touch their own pain points, and just shut up, you know? And even it might be like total awkward, just like stop and like maybe change the convo or whatever it is, but stop talking. People don't want to hear about you. That's great what you've accomplished, but they want to know, what can you do for me? And it's not being selfish. That's how we are. Like, if I have no interest of like getting my manicure done, why would I go to a nail salon, right? So like, I need to know, what are you going to be able to do for me, right? So always think of like, you're not the hero. The person you're talking to, they are the hero. You need to like really talk about them and keep asking more questions to get more. And sometimes your 30-second story can be actually dragged like in like small beats and pieces at a time, because when they say something, you're like, I know exactly how you feel. I used to be like that. I know exactly how you feel. My friend does the same thing, relates to that. So let them talk, and you can like reiterate. Let them talk, reiterate. And the key point is, you gotta have like a little closer, and also have a follow-up. Like, you can talk and talk forever, but you actually need to kind of like look like you're busy, and you just say, you know what, it was connecting with you. If this is somebody you've never met or first time, whatever. I mean, come on, Melva did a call for 15 minutes. Like, that's freaking amazing, right? But she got so much information. She has notes, pages of notes about people, because she was on the go. She was like question after question after question. I can already see her talking, right? So you tell them, you know what, this is not the best place or time. Like, and actually I really have to go, but I love talking to you. I would love to connect with you. Exchange phone numbers, Facebook, Instagram, it doesn't matter. Email, get their contact info, not just like hand them like your business card and they like pray like they're gonna call you back. And just connect with them and just follow up in like a couple of days and say, you know what, I remember we spoke about this, we met at this place, you know, like what is it that I can do for you to help you to reach your goals? I remember you saying you had this major goal you want to accomplish. Is there anything that you found that in my story that I can help you with? Is this the right time in your life for you to talk about that? And they may ghost on you, which is fine. They may come back to you and say, yes, please. You never know. So wrap it up, make yourself big, walk out, get their contact info, and just have a blast doing. Just don't be weird. You know, nobody wants to talk to a weirdo. I don't. So
right. Yeah, you don't want to be overly, what's the word? pushy about your own story. Well, does anybody, so guys, I'm going to announce, we're going to have, our homework assignment is going to be, I saw Terry post this, so I'm just going to let you guys know. Our homework assignment is for everybody to practice their 30-second story through Facebook Live, and I've got prizes for people, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But before we wrap up for tonight, and I'll announce the promo in a minute, is there anyone on the line who's that would just love to get their 30-second story out and share it with the group and get thoughts or feedback? I know it's 9:30. This is good conversation though. I mean, we've been on an hour. We promised 9 and you guys could have jumped off at 9. I just love the commitment to just learning, right? Because your 30-second story is the bread and butter of your business. It is your first point of connection with people and sharing your story. So I challenge you guys to get out there and just start practicing finding ways to connect with people and having ways to unfold your story or your teammate's story. Christine, you did an amazing job sharing today. You've got just such valuable insight in how you connect. You are clearly a master at sharing your story, which is how you're able to connect and recruit and enroll so many people. And you can tell by your confidence and just your practice and articulation that you've mastered it. So just remember that, use your ears more than your mouth. I always tell my son, because he loves to talk, like God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? You can shut your mouth and listen. Ask some questions and just listen. People want to be heard. And Lady's laughing because she knows, because she has to take care of him. He loves to hear himself talk. Don't we all? So here I am blabbering, right? So here's the promo for this week. For those of you who are up for the challenge, and every single one of you needs to be up for the challenge. I want you to get uncomfortable. There's no better place to practice your story than doing a Facebook Live in our group, private group, Future Executives 2.0. Get in there and tell your story. Just don't care. I know it's going to be weird talking to your phone. Some of you have never even done a Facebook Live before. That's where you grow and get uncomfortable. I want you to get in there and share your 30-second story, record it, and post it. Because number one, it gives you a chance to practice. But number two, you're now going to hear 20 other people's stories. And now you have 20 other stories to lean on when you connect. Because Terry Lindbergh's story is different than Melva's, is different than Blady's, is different than Jen's, is different than Kristen's. And if you listen to all of them, it gives you more points of connection to leverage other people's 30-second stories. So I have 2 opportunities this week for you guys to win business cards, Isagenix business cards that I'm purchasing for you guys. And so the challenge is the very first person to post their 30-second story in our group, the very first person to go live and post it, I'm going to purchase some Isagenix business cards for you. And then the very first person, this could be separate because I've seen these go for a really long time, the very first person to post their 30-second story and actually do it in less than 30 seconds, I will also buy you some business cards. Now, if you happen to be the first person to post and you nail it in under 30 seconds, awesome. I'm only buying 1 set of business cards. That doesn't mean the rest of you don't get to post. You're all posting. It's practice. You have to get uncomfortable to grow in this business. But the first 1 or 2 of you are going to get business cards from me. So that's it. On your mark, get set, go. You guys have a good evening, and we'll catch up soon.
Don't forget to download the recording. Don't close your laptop.
I'm doing it right now.